especially the 2012 Ohio State Buckeyes football team, welcome to a very special edition of a Saturday tradition, Skull Session with the best damn band in the land. Of today's special celebration. Now, I know many of you regularly attend our Saturday pregame skull sessions, a combination pep rally with the team and a final rehearsal for the band before we head over to Ohio Stadium. But if you haven't been here, we start 2¼ hours before kickoff. You're invited to join us next season. We usually start off with some of our special cheer groups, and we're going to do that again this evening. Trumpets? Next up,
Let's hear it for the best damn band in the land. Outstanding. Good evening, Buckeye Nation. I'm 10 TV's Dom Taberry, and I got to tell you, it is a great honor to be with you tonight. Are you ready to celebrate perfection? In 123 years of Ohio State football, there have only been 6 perfect seasons. 6! 123 years, and tonight we celebrate these guys. What a year it has been. I've been doing this a while, 30 plus years, but this season certainly had the moments, the great wins, the come from behind wins. It was so much fun as we celebrate Coach Urban Meyer and his 12-0 Buckeyes tonight. We'd like to thank our sponsors for the evening, Kroger, the Dispatch Media Group, and Nationwide Insurance. As many of you know, Columbus is my home. I was born here, I was raised here, I grew up a Buckeye fan. I think Columbus is the greatest city in America, personally. Bring up the city of Columbus, the #1 fan, Mayor Michael Coleman. All right, Buckeyes. Thank you. You know, I met these young men at their first practice, their very first practice, and I talked to them. I talked to them about responsibility on the field and off the field and being a role model in their communities and on this team. And I looked at them and I told them, you know, what you do makes a difference. Makes a difference to the team, makes a difference to the Ohio State University, and a difference to the city of Columbus, and that it impacts thousands of people. And I knew that then that they were special men, but I didn't know how special they were and how special they are. And so, special people that do extraordinary things. This is an extraordinary accomplishment. To go undefeated. To go 12-0. It is almost impossible to accomplish, but it was accomplished this year. So these special men deserve special recognition. So I thought about what kind of recognition should this undefeated team have for the citizens of Columbus. And I thought about what powers I have as mayor. And so I said, you know what? I'm going to name a street after this team. Take it down, rip off the sign. When you're undefeated, what do? You have the name of the street, 12-0.
I can see it from here.
you very much, Mr. Meyer. Ohio State is a city within a city. We're talking about one of the largest universities in the world. But I must say, Ohio State is blessed with an outstanding leader in charge. No question, he's an innovator. He's a man of vision. He certainly has more energy than of anyone I've ever seen. And he gave Coach Urban Meyer only his best plays this year. He's the man with the bow tie, President E.
Michigan. Now that is perfection. Hey, Mayor, thank you very much for 12 in a row. I'll put it in front of my house. So anyway, and we are grateful for the support of this city. We're grateful for the support of our community. And by the way, these guys played for the pride of 11.6 million Ohioans. Everyone loves those guys. It's a mark of character when what they can do is they do it for themselves, they do it for their school, they do it for our students, they do it for the state. In America. So, on behalf of the university, I thank the fans, I thank all of you for being here this evening, and most importantly, I thank you for loving this institution, and I thank the love that these guys have given back to us. Everyone have a great evening. Go Bucks.
Thank you very much, Dr. Gee. When Coach Urban Meyer was hired a little over a year ago, he made it his mission. He said he wanted to make the great state of Ohio proud of its football team. Well, I ask you tonight, Buckeye Nation, are you proud of your football team? You know, anytime there's change with a new coaching staff, new ideas, there's always a learning curve. Coach Meyer told us that he began to see things make a change at Michigan State. With the help of the senior leaders, this football team began to believe. You know, they did give us some great moments along the way. There were come-from-behind wins. There were overtime victories. But you know, the theme remained the same. This football team always found ways to win. They refused to lose, which brings us tonight. In the celebration of a 12-0 perfect season. As I mentioned, it's only happened 6 times. Buckeye Nation, let's hear it for the best coach in the country, Coach Urban Meyer!
much. Along with Dom and I are going to do a little question and answer. Before we get going, I'm going to finish with introducing some important people. But before we introduce our players, I want to make sure that we give a nice round of applause for a group of people that moved from all over the different parts of the country. 8 of my 9 coaches came back home to the great state of Ohio. So I want you to say a big thank you to the best coaching staff in college football. Another thank you would be to the better halves of that best coaching staff in college football, the coaching staff's wives, right over here. I'd like the coaching staff's wives to please stand up so everybody can recognize you and give you a round of applause.
Well, Coach, you talk about at Michigan State, you saw something in your football team that, I'm sure what Brutus is doing. You saw something in your football team that you liked, and that you saw something that you thought they got it. What was that? What happened?
Well, the journey, I'm going to go ahead and take it and run with this now for a second, because I think it's real important that that this great football team, it's not just a bunch of numbers and helmets and faces behind that helmet. I want to talk a little bit about what happened. The journey started. Ohio State's had a great tradition, great years past. The new coaching staff comes in. There's some adversity, and it's really a blind leap of faith for them to follow a brand new coaching staff and maybe doing it a little different than it's been done in the past. There's a lot of resistance. There's a lot of pushback. Guys worked hard. However, they never really played with purpose. There's a bunch of guys out there went through spring practice. To be quite honest, we were very average, to maybe below average in a lot of areas. And then our mission was real clear. We made it clear to our players we want to make the great state of Ohio proud. That mission was enhanced in the summer when we found out we had really something, we had purpose all of a sudden. That purpose was a great group of young men that didn't have to stay. We got hit with sanctions in December, and every one of these young men, the senior class, they could have left. They're great human beings. I wasn't quite sure. We had a meeting, and I wasn't quite sure why they stuck around. Recruited them really hard because I really didn't know them, but I wanted them back. I knew our chance to win because there's pretty good players in that class. But I really didn't quite understand why they stayed. Throughout spring, our off season, spring practice, and summer, as we got ready to go play, I figured it out real quick. It's because this will go down as one of the great senior classes in Ohio State University history. It's just a bunch of guys running around making mistakes, playing hard sometimes, winning games, losing games. A team with purpose and talent, that's when magical things happen. This team all of a sudden started to sense deep purpose, and that purpose was very clear. Win as many games as we can for this unselfish group of seniors. And our guys did that.
They found ways to win. They showed so much grit. What was it? I mean, Coach, this is hard. 12-0 is not easy.
Well, if you go back the first 3 or 4 games, in coach speak, it was not very pretty. It was a team finding ways to win against Alabama, Birmingham. We had Braxton had to scramble, make a play to win a game against Cal. Not a very good-looking team. Were in scarlet gray that day. However, they found a way to win. And something magical happened that I'd like to share with our student body as well. Something happened on September 29th at about 11:22 in the afternoon. We went to East Lansing, and it was there that myself, our coaching staff, and a group of players, we had a very honest conversation. And I made it clear to them, and our coaching staff made it clear to them, there's some bad stuff about to happen unless we figure this out. We start to come together, play with purpose, and we opened our hearts that day to play for one another, to play for this great university, to play for our families, but most importantly, we're playing for each other. And that's when it all changed that day in East Lansing, Michigan.
You know, there were a lot of great wins this year, but I got to ask you about one on November 24th against that team up north. Your first win as the head coach of the Buckeyes. You grew up watching these guys. You always want to beat those guys. You were quite emotional on the sidelines, weren't you, Coach?
You know, something happened about really early in the week. We found out our heart and soul. I had a bad feeling that number 54, John Simon, there's a chance he might not play this game. After having his best game against Wisconsin, he had 4 sacks. And later in the week, they kept telling us there's a chance. Deep in my heart, I knew something bad wasn't going to happen. And Friday afternoon, they tried a lot of things and it just wasn't working out. So that put a lot of pressure on our players, a lot of pressure on our coaches to overcome not our best player, our captain, our leader, not playing. The emotions went wild. Our defensive team played with purpose. Our entire team played with purpose to get John Simon that game ball.
Well, Coach, we're going to bring the seniors up here. I want to ask you real quick about John Simon. After that game, he was given the game ball. Talk about what John Simon meant to this club.
Well, John Simon, I talked to Mike Vrabel as his position coach, and unfortunately, Mike got him in really his second year of coaching. He might not ever have another shot to coach a guy like that again. So if you say, what's the face of Ohio State football, this team will be forever remembered as one of the 6 teams that went undefeated. John Simon's who this football team is. With your help, I'd like to recognize one of the greatest senior classes in Ohio State history. One at a time, I'm going to bring them up. First young man out of St. Albans, New York, will graduate in January 2012. Kareem Stevens, come up here, Kareem. Next young man, out of Belleville, Ohio, defensive lineman Dalton Britt. Out of Cincinnati, Ohio, linebacker Russell Torek. Biology major, going to graduate in December, going to be a doctor. Love this guy. Started for me on special teams from Gahanna, Ohio. Linebacker Stuart Smith. Our backup quarterback, he's been with us for 4 years out of Charlotte, North Carolina, Justin Seams. Safety out of Blacklick, Ohio, Vinny Petrella. Out of Carrollton, Texas, D lineman William McCrary. Very valuable member of our football team. Special teams, played wide receiver and corner. 3-time letter winner out of Dublin, Taylor Rice. Appeared in 49 games, 4-year letter winner, fullback out of Coldwater, Ohio, Adam Holman. Four-time letter winner. Played in 44 games, total career, 91 tackles, 2 sacks, 2 interceptions. Will graduate in summer of 2013, Newark, Ohio. Linebacker Storm Klein. averaged 41 yards per punt for us out of Westerville, Ohio. Did a great job, certainly in our last game. Punter Ben Buchanan. One of my favorite guys, extremely unselfish player, have already graduated, has a BA in marketing, appeared in 33 games, very instrumental in all of our special teams. Safety, Zach D'Amico. Was a tight end to start his career. We moved up to offensive line in January this past year. Became one of the best offensive tackles in the Big Ten. From Grosse Pointe Farms, Michigan. Offensive lineman, right tackle, Reed Fragel. From St. Petersburg, Florida, appeared in 49 games, finished his career with 131 tackles, 6 interceptions, 2009 academic All-Big Ten. Critical playmaker for us this year. Our safety, Orion Johnson. From Dublin, Ohio, 53 receptions, 714 yards, 13 TDs. Four-time Leno winner, had a big play up in State College, a 70-yard touchdown reception to put the game away. Number 11, wide receiver, tight end, Jake Stoneburner. From Miami, Florida, OSU scholar athlete, two-time academic All-Big Ten. Will graduate this spring, appeared in 43 games. First team All-Big Ten, played his best year of football this last year. Number 7, corner, Travis Howard. From Villa Park, Illinois, 51 games he played, 86 total tackles, was elected captain of his 2012 team. Our nose guard, Garrett Goebel. By far his best year and most meaningful year as an Ohio State football player. 3-year later winner, honorable mention All-Big Ten, should have been All-Big Ten, 119 total tackles, 5 sacks, 12 tackles for loss, 1 interception, has already graduated. Our captain and one of our great leaders, Adian Sabino. One of the great stories, arguably in Ohio State history, and certainly of this season in college football in general. The essence of what college football and team sports are all about, putting team before self. He appeared in 51 games. He started at fullback, was the best fullback in the Big Ten. Midway through the season, we had some injuries at linebacker. On a Tuesday practice, I went over and I asked number 44, I said, we need you on defense. Within 10 minutes, he was a starting middle linebacker at Ohio State. He will graduate in the spring 2013 from Pickerington, Ohio. Our captain, number 44. appeared in 50 games, led the Big Ten with 9 sacks, 14.5 tackles for loss this year. Totaled 153 tackles, 21 sacks, 46 tackles for loss. A two-time captain, 2011 and 2012. Defensive Player of the Year in the Big Ten. First team all Big Ten the last two years, 2011, 2012. Four-time ladder winner. One of the all-time greats, never put on a scarlet and gray jersey. Our heart and soul from Youngstown, Ohio. Captain, number 54, John Simon.
Look at me with trepidation, and if the rest of you could sit down, we'll keep the 4 captains up here.